most trusted name in news.
It is no secret that President Bush is a big sports fan. Part ownership of the Texas Rangers in the late 80s and early 90s helped make him a bigger-than-life figure in Texas, and that helped set the stage for his run for governor in 1994. You know how that story plays out after that. Well, I bet you did not know that the president usually has a game on when he's working on a big speech. Mr. Bush put on his game face to help mark Sports Illustrated's 50th anniversary. Don Yaeger is an associate editor with the magazine, and he's joining us from Tampa this morning to talk about his presidential interview. Don, good morning.
Morning, Darren. Thank you.
Well, we regular readers of Sports Illustrated know that as part of this big celebration, every week, every issue, you highlight a different state the magazine is. So President Bush's interview is part of the Texas feature in this week's magazine.
Yeah, we're doing 50 weeks of 50 states, sports in all 50 states, and this week was Texas. And as part of each special section, we are doing a portion of that special section, which is an interview with a celebrity from that state about how sports help shape their life.
But I got to ask you, how'd you get the interview? I mean, the guy's a little bit busy.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking to me as well. We had actually had a request in for some time, and then a few months ago, I was at an event where Ari Fleischer was at the same event. It was an event the president was attending, and I cornered Ari Fleischer and did what all the other reporters do and gave him a card and tried to convince him why it was a great interview. And fortunately, a couple days later, they called and put me on hold, and it came up a couple of weeks ago.
Good. So. Well, Ari Fleischer, of course, the former press spokesman for the White House, he a big Yankees fan himself, so he understands the sports world. Let's talk about what President Bush talks about in this interview. One, he says, I think some people will be surprised that he does not consider himself to be a great athlete.
No, in fact, he talks about the fact that he peaked as an athlete in Little League, which is kind of a funny admission. And but as a Little Leaguer, he was pretty proud of the fact that he was a pretty great catcher. But yeah, that was probably about the highlight of his athletic career.
And you ask him to play kind of Monday morning quarterback about his stint as a baseball owner, his best and worst moves as owner of the Texas Rangers.
There was no question it was his work to try to get the people of Arlington and Texas to build a new sports stadium. The ballpark in Arlington really kind of set the stage for all the great ballparks you see around the country today, and really kind of changed the dynamic financially of Major League Baseball because it changed the numbers. Worst move, obviously, you trade Sammy Sosa, and that's not soon forgotten.
Didn't quite work out the way that was planned.
No, I don't think so.
Absolutely not. And finally, he shared that he does watch quite a bit of sports almost every day.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. As we were sitting there, it was an afternoon interview, and earlier that morning he had given a major speech to the Urban League in Philadelphia. And in giving that speech, he had prepared it the night before, working with his staff. I asked him about watching sports, and he said, yeah, as a matter of fact, the night before, as he was supposed to be working on this speech, he spent quite a bit of time glancing over the shoulder of his staff to watch the Yankees-Red Sox, which were on TV that night. So, clearly, I think sports is a pretty major part of his life.
Clearly. Well, Don, good getting the president to participate in this week's Sports Illustrated. Don Yaeger with SI, and once again, they're featuring a different state in each issue. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
All right, coming up right here, the Dave Matthews Band.
They had quite a little party last night.
Not too bad. Yeah. Tens of thousands of people showing out to see them in Central Park.